Hey there, Postal employees. My name is Kevin Terry, and in this video, we're going to talk about how you can directly benefit from helping others create a local mentoring group. So, let me ask you a few questions and see if any of these scenarios resonate with you. Number one, are you a member of an organization such as the United Postmasters and Managers of America and would like to increase your membership? How about number two? Do you feel like you're ready for a promotion, but your local leadership keeps overlooking your talent? Okay, number three, are you a manager struggling to improve metrics such as C360, sampling request, NDI, last mile, or whatever? Number four, are you a craft employee wanting to break into management or the administrative ranks, but don't really know how? And finally, number five, do you recognize a need to improve postal culture through better leadership training and want to be a part of the solution rather than just complain? If you answered yes, then stay focused. The solution I'm going to share with you will literally change your life and greatly improve postal culture. The best part, it's so unbelievably easy. I promise just a little bit of time can yield a huge return on your investment. This plan is a direct win for all participants, and the positive outcomes radiate to all employees. So, what I want to do right now is briefly address the reasons why people do not create mentoring groups before we get into the process of how to attract motivated employees to participate. Look, there are plenty of reasons why selfish people avoid mentoring, but we do have some amazing unselfish mentors that are unable to reach their full potential of helping others, and there's some legitimate reasons for that. The number one reason that I hear over and over again is lack of time, and that's probably the biggest hurdle we face. With this program, we train the mentees as a team to organize meetings. That's 90% of the effort distributed between a few employees. An RCA or a PTF clerk looking to advance or hungry to learn, and this gives them an opportunity to make a name for themselves. Employees like this would be instrumental in organizing meetings. These employees are everywhere, and this program will show you how to attract them rather than searching for them. Now, only 10% of the effort are from our mentors who teach on a rotating basis. With a rotation strategy, one mentor can offer 30 to 45 minutes per year. Recognizing our mentors is how we keep them coming back. When our mentors are recognized for the extra effort, it could lead to a promotion, and rightfully so. This gives our mentors an opportunity to make a name for themselves as well. These are the people that we want to promote because they demonstrate true servant leadership. So you see, lack of time is not really an issue when we get creative and provide opportunities for motivated employees to demonstrate their ingenuity and talent. Okay, so now let's talk about how we recruit participants to get a really good turnout for your meetings. Remember, you have the flexibility to customize your system to what works for you. What I'm going to cover is what has worked for me. Be creative and do whatever makes sense. Also realize on everything we do, we need to have a marketing mindset. For instance, when it comes to our careers, we ask for advice on KSAs. We want to market ourselves so others perceive us as high performers. We also spend time crafting our resume to catch the eye of selecting officials. Some of us spend time rehearsing our elevator pitch in the mirror for a chance encounter with someone who could help our careers. We must have that same passion if we want to move mentoring groups from ideas on the drawing board to a normalized reality. Be enthusiastic and creative when marketing. So, keep that in mind as we talk about the next 6 steps to forming a solid mentoring group. Okay, so first, the first step, although it's not necessary, it helps tremendously to obtain buy-in from the local leadership. I developed my sales pitch to include how mentoring will improve the scorecard and other key metrics that we're trying to achieve or that the local leadership is trying to achieve. With highly trained employees, it's not only the metrics that improve, but attendance and morale also improves. Once you have a plan to bring it all together, most leaders are 100% all in. This buy-in is important because we want the ability to advertise our mentoring meetings inside the offices. And this brings us to our next step, which is creating catchy flyers and placing them in several high traffic locations around the office. I would focus on the offices in high density populated areas and radiate from there. But that strategy is up to you. I laminated my flyers for durability and used colorful duct tape and placed in locations such as the scanning cradles, exit to the loading areas, the restrooms, and huddle boards. Be mindful of the colors. I like to use red and yellow because many of the locations near me have a lot of blue and black, and it just stands out better. I also included on the flyer the phrase career advancement meeting in a large font because that's something everyone understands. Avoid using jargon or phrases a new employee might not understand. And maybe consider including the salary of your target market. In my flyer, I included nearly $80,000, which is very attractive to many. Now, as you can see, the flyer displayed here isn't the best artwork, but if you have artistic ability, feel free to use it. The point is to capture that attention so that they're interested enough to scan that QR code. The QR code takes them to the sign up form. And this brings us to our next step, which is monitoring the data on the sign up form that is generated by that QR code. So, what information do you want on the sign up form? I recommend the fields of first name, last name, title, work email, personal email, mobile number, best day or best days to meet, and office zip code. Also, you may want a disclaimer such as participants agree their information may be shared on a limited basis to volunteers who help organize. I normally use an agree checkbox or a disagree checkbox for stuff like this. You can also throw in other things such as what do you hope to learn, but try not to make it too lengthy. If you put too many fields, you might not get a high response rate. If you do not know how to use Google Forms or Microsoft Forms, I encourage you to go to YouTube and watch a quick tutorial. They're both very similar, but if you have support from the local leadership, I recommend using Microsoft Forms because it's compatible with work computers. Speaking of the leadership, once you generate a good number of names, consider sending that to the local leadership to keep them updated on your efforts. You could also send the local leadership a map of the office zip codes. Google has an application called My Maps where you can upload a spreadsheet of the office zips paired with the first name and title. This helps the leadership visualize the activity, plus it helps in determining the geographic location of where you want to hold the meetings. If possible, choose a central location to obtain maximum participation. Oh, and I should mention, I would stay completely away from using personally identifiable information such as full names, emails, and phone numbers. Normally, I just include the first name and their title. Okay, on the My Maps application, you can actually zoom in to a particular point in Office and click on the push pin to view the information listed on the spreadsheet that you uploaded. This map is great for visualizing participant activity, but treat it as the information is not at all secured. Once you have a central location, start looking for venues that can accommodate your growing list of participants. I've been fortunate to find several free locations at restaurants and libraries. If you have trouble finding something free, consider taking donations or perhaps finding a sponsor and allowing them to advertise their product or service. I prefer places that have a large screen TV so I can connect the TV and laptop with an HDMI cable. Some places even have projectors. These are the things you want to consider when finding a suitable venue. The hardest part is now done. Using the data from the sign-up form, I know the best day to meet, and I have a venue in a centralized location. This information is powerful for maximum participation. You ever had a three-digit meeting that was unsuccessful? Well, with this data and a strong marketing aspect, you are assured the best turnout possible. All you have to do now is copy the email columns from the sign-up form into your email. Be sure when you craft your email to include the pertinent details such as the date, time, dress code, agenda, address and phone number, or whatever you feel is important. Create another Microsoft form, put this in your email so participants can RSVP in order to obtain a good head count. A few days out, I might even send text messages and make phone calls to ensure everyone remembers. Now, you could do all of this, but it works best if you divide the work. When you have a team of 2 to 3, it's really so easy, but hey, the more the merrier. Be creative to fit your needs and work on your influencing skills. What really makes these mentoring groups highly successful is encouraging relationship building. The most successful professional organizations are built on a foundation of trust and personal connections. There's no better feeling in the world than being the person that helped inspire and literally change someone's life for the better. If you really want to make a difference when others are failing by doing the same thing over and over again, creating a mentoring group is for you. If you have any questions or need guidance, please reach out because I'm always willing to help. Let's show our organization what real leadership is about. Thank you.